I think I have finally figured out why so many people are addicted to crafting. And no, it's not because we just like making pretty things.
Hey, this is Kelly from paperbeadrollers.com, and today we're going to take a break from our normal paper bead tutorials and talk a little bit about why we love crafting so much.
So I was listening to this podcast the other day, and it helped connect a lot of dots for me. Martha Beck is a well-known author and a life coach, and she said something the other day that really caught my attention. And if you don't mind, I am just going to keep rolling paper beads while we talk. I've got my paper strips, I got my bead roller, I got my little glue bottle over here. I'm just going to roll and talk a little bit. So Martha's theory is that when we're stuck in anxiety, engaging our creative side of our brain shuts down that anxious part. And the opposite is true. When we're anxious, we also can't be creative. I mean, she is not a neuroscientist, but she noticed it in herself. And then she tried it with some of her clients and it worked with them too. I thought, that's pretty cool. They were able to get out of their anxious state by tapping into their creativity. A few days later, I found myself in an incredibly stressful situation where I was showing all of the physical signs of anxiety. So I decided to test the theory on myself. Being in an extremely high state of anxiety can be very dangerous for me because in 2010, I was in a very toxic work situation and I had a stress-induced heart attack. I had no blockages, no heart disease. It was 100% stress. My body gives me incredibly clear physical signals when my stress is getting too high. And that is not something that I can just push through because pushing through has some very final consequences for me. Okay. So here I am, my body is waving every red flag it could possibly wave. Like I knew I was in trouble. Like my heart was beating really fast. My chest was tight. It felt a little hard to breathe. My right eye does this weird like blinking thing. It's really annoying. I was getting all of that. So I said, all right, we're going to stop everything. I went and grabbed my wallpaper sample books, started cutting strips, started rolling beads. 20 minutes later, all of the physical symptoms had died down. Now my anxiety wasn't gone. Like this is not a cure for anxiety. What it did is it just calmed my nervous system and it allowed me to get to a point where my body wasn't overloaded anymore. And then I could deal with the stress that I had, okay? But it's still pretty damn cool. I mean, no wonder crafting is so addicting, right? If that's what it can do for us, come on. I don't know how I never realized it. But let's be honest, us crafters, it can be a little bit over the top. I mean, we'll spend, 3 hours researching organizers for a craft we haven't even learned yet. And then we go to the store and we'll buy craft supplies just because they're on sale. Like we have no idea what we're gonna do with those supplies, but they're on sale. And so we buy it. I mean, we're gonna use it someday, right? Someday might be 3 years down the road, but I mean, it'll get here. Not the point. Then you put the supplies you bought on sale in the closet next to the supplies you bought 3 months ago on sale that still haven't used, and we rationalize. I do it. I know you do too. Come on. I can't even bother to tell you, I can't even bother to remember actually how many crafts I have tried over the years. There was the sewing phase. That was also the medieval Renaissance fair phase. Those kind of go together. There was the crochet phase. There was the woodworking phase. And of course the paper bead phase, which has hung around for a very long time now. I got a lot of paper bead supplies. You know how some people will be like, well, I'm gonna go to the gym. I go for my mental health. And everybody's like, oh yeah. Working out is great for your mental health. And then we say, hey, I'm gonna go to my craft room for a couple hours. Don't bother me. And they're like, aw, look at that cute little craft she's doing. What a nice little hobby. Right. But if we're honest with ourselves, there have been clues. You guys have given me clues because you'll either post or you'll email me and you'll say things like, you know, I find paper beading so soothing. Or you'll say, you know, I sit every night and roll paper beads before bed so that I can de-stress so I can sleep. Like, I've been hearing these comments for years and it never hit me. This never occurred to me until now. So yes, there have been clues. When all of this started to come together for me in my head, here's what really hit me. I've always thought crafting was relaxing because I enjoyed it, because I got to make something with my hands. But what if that's only a part of the story? What if there's a little more to it than that? What if this is doing something much more important for us? I mean, think about what happens when you're crafting. You're not scrolling on social media. You're not reading the news. You're not arguing with people on Facebook. You are focusing. You are focusing on the thing you're doing. For me, it's the next layer of paper that goes down. For you, it might be the next stitch. For a little while, your brain gets a break from all of the heavy stuff that you're carrying around in it. I mean, have you ever sat down to craft for 20 minutes and next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later? Yeah, happens to me all the time. But hey, I am no psychologist. I'm no neuroscientist. I am just a crafter who heard it on a podcast and then recognized that it happens in my own life. So here is what I'd love for you to do. The next time you feel stressed or overwhelmed and anxious, I want you to do whatever it is you do, whatever craft is your thing, sewing, painting, whatever. I want you to sit down. I want you to do it. I want you to come back here and tell me how it made you feel. How long did it take for your anxiety to subside? I want to see how widespread this really is, if this really does work for a large portion of us. Because if it is, that's life-changing. Then it becomes a tool, not just a hobby, but a tool for mental health, a tool to help us manage all the stress and anxiety and weight in the world that is weighing us down in a very real way. I mean, maybe we have been telling people that crafting is good for us because we wanted it to be true, but maybe it just really is true. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. Make sure you hit subscribe, hit that bell so you get notified when all my tutorials go out, and I'll see you next time. So as I was filming on this table, a paper bead rolled down into the table and got caught in this spider web. I have no idea what the spider thinks, but I am absolutely not retrieving that paper bead. Look at this. It's just gonna stay there. I wonder if I can use it for shelter from this storm that's about to come.